All right. We live? All right, welcome back. Now, it won't be too long. I'm trying not to be anyways. But I wanted to talk about this video and sort of elaborate. I don't know if y'all seen this. It's got almost 1 million views, close to 1 million views right now. Let's go.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm walking up on you, nigga.
Good.
I'm walking up on you.
How you been?
Swing.
How you been?
Swing. Swing.
Sit down now.
Swing. You hoe. You a hoe ass nigga for
Say
that
all you
shit.
want to say. Say all you want
Shut
to
up there,
say.
my granddaddy shit.
Say
Nigga,
all
gonna
you want
steal
to
this
say.
shit, nigga.
It's just shit. You come on over here, I'm gonna shit out you. I'm telling you.
Slap me.
Stay with me.
Slap me.
That's bullshit.
Slap me.
Hey.
Slap me. Slap me. Slap me, hoe. Slap me, hoe.
Now you hear that nasty, disrespectful Keisha. But there's nothing surprising about this. But when I was young, this wasn't as prevalent, but it still happened. I can't even say that it didn't happen when I was young. Because I remember one incident where this elderly man was beaten up. Literally beaten up by a teenage Keisha. She was like punching this man in the face until he fell. He literally fell from the blows. And he was quite old. He was well into his 70s. Head full of gray hair, just like you see here. This old man, he looks quite old. All of his hair is gray. Head, beard. And this Keisha is challenging him to a fight.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Talk about what's up. Hands her phone to, because see what happened before the camera started rolling? She walked up on him. That's why he said that. That's why he gave her a warning. That's why he said, don't walk up on me now. And everybody needs to know this. I almost had to shoot my neighbor a couple months ago for walking up on me. It was late at night. He was drunk. He thought I was a burglar. And his drunkenness almost got him killed. You don't ever let people walk up on you. Ever. Anybody walks up on you and they are in arm's reach, drop them. Because they're walking up on you to do something. It's unlikely that they just want a woof. And even if they do want a woof, they deserve to be dropped for getting in someone's personal space like that they have beef with. But I've never seen an elderly woman get challenged or beaten up by a young person. I've never seen that. Despite the fact that I have seen elderly women put hands on young Keishas. I remember an incident with my own grandmother. My grandmother from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, she decided to put hands on one of her grandchildren. And at the time, she was a teenager. Matter of fact, it was the same one who beat up this elderly man. She was, excited and disrespectful. And my grandmother, she was in her 60s when she did this. She walked up on her and started clawing at her face. It's kind of hard to describe it. That's the best way I can put it. She started clawing at her face as if she was trying to rip her face off. Left a few scratch marks on this young Keisha's face. And she did not put one hand on my grandmother. She even verbally said it because there was a lot of witnesses at the time. And after she clawed at her face, she said, the young Keisha said, I'm not going to hit her. She made an announcement. I'm not going to hit her. But she started beating up this elderly man as if he was another young Keisha off the street. And to this day, I have never seen an elderly woman beaten up. Y'all remember the Cleveland bus driver? Y'all remember how much older did he look and sound than that girl who spit on him? And I believe she hit him, right? She struck him. This was an old man. That idea of having respect for older people, that don't exist. That definitely don't exist today in Black American culture. Not really. And people still seem to not understand that hood culture, it was created by Keisha. They facilitated it. The Keishas controlled what their kids were conditioned by. Period. It doesn't matter what type of negative messages are being put out in Hollywood or in rap videos, which is the same thing. That's irrelevant. What matters is whether or not you as a parent allow it into your home. I had an auntie, I still have an auntie. She was real religious. And I remember when I was a kid, she would not allow us to watch horror movies. I remember we wanted to watch Nightmare on Elm Street. It's either part 1 or part 2. And she insisted that not only are we not allowed to watch it, but she said, I don't want to let that type of evil into my home. Whatever you allow on the television, you are allowing into your home. You're allowing your kids to experience it. You know how you watch a horror movie and you actually get scared? You experience that stuff. It really, especially when you're looking at or listening to music and watching a music video. Haven't y'all noticed that when it comes to music, artists get far more views when they have a video for the song? Haven't y'all noticed that? These artists who upload songs with just a still picture or their album cover, that song gets nowhere near as many views as a video for that song does. I know y'all have noticed that. Because the most powerful form of influence is to stimulate people both visually and through audio. You got more senses on the material, on the content. So these Keishas, who are the only heads of household, allow their kids to watch a bunch of degeneracy on television, which is something that they shouldn't have done. Degeneracy, mind you, where most of it was targeted for them, targeted to condition them to end up in jail or grave before they even turn 20 years old. That is what this rap genre, the gangster rap, drill rap, that's what it was created for. To maximize prison and graveyard population. And you know what the crazy thing is? Black men were all over the United States saying the same thing back then. Black men saw the play back then and was calling it out back then. Do you ever remember a mass movement of Keishas outlawing the TV, or at least, these rap videos and gangster rap? Do you ever remember a war against this type of degeneracy? Remember, keep in mind, our music had never sounded like that. We've been making music since the late 1800s. Go listen to it. It's not filled with degeneracy. It's happy music, love songs. Ain't talking about blowing nobody's brains out or, desecrating somebody's grave, dissing the dead and all this type of nonsense. Glorifying, unaliving other black men. You can't be pro-black man, pro-black male, you can't be pro-black men and refuse to object to music that glorifies our death. The question is, why didn't more of these Keishas see that when it's so right in your face? This was not subliminal. They wasn't sending these messages through covert messaging. It was right there in your face. Blow Igga's brain out, leave him stretched out on the street, and anybody else want it? Yeah. And it got incentivized. Not only was it created by the letter boys, it got incentivized. Most importantly, it got financed with billions of dollars. That's like an investment to get your return with all these prisons that was just built. Everything was right in the open. Nothing was hidden. Nothing was behind the scene. And they still fell for it all. Fell right in line with it all. Conditioned themselves as the parents on that garbage. And, of course, allowed them to consume it. And on top of that, was abusive to their sons. Why should I wag the finger at a traumatized population? When you become a parent, especially when you make a conscious decision to be a single parent and say, I don't need the father, my kids don't need their father in their life, you're making a grand stand that you know what you're doing. That's a huge proclamation. I know what I'm doing. And you know what comes with that? You are responsible for how they turn out. Don't want to hear nothing. And let me tell you, Keishas, y'all be talking all this smack. I know exactly how you raise kids. All you do is feed them, put clothes on them, send them to school. That's it. You don't teach them jack squat. You don't teach them nothing. How to save. You don't teach them about paying bills. strategies, how to keep a job, what type of state of mind to stay in order to work 40 hours a week and be consistent. You don't teach like that. Y'all not like that. That's what fathers do. We think like that. And I don't know why they haven't figured out that y'all cannot raise boys into men. You can't. You can only raise them to be like women and to be effeminate. You're not a man. This is what y'all really need to get through your thick skulls. You don't think like us. You are nothing like us. Nothing. And you will never be a man. You will never be able to lead a nation of people. Ever. And you never have. You've been given decades to try to demonstrate your ability. And what have you created? The slums, ghettos, hoods. These are not the communities that black men governed in the early 1900s, late 1800s. It wasn't until these Keishas became the majority of the heads of households, the only parents in the home, did you start seeing a huge difference for the worse. Things went downhill fast, and they're still going downhill. You're not men. You can't raise not even girls properly. That's why there's so many of them that's thoughts, Brad worshipers, sex crave, basically the same plantation breeders that you are. You all need to accept the fact that you are a damaged, extremely mentally, emotionally damaged and broken group population of women, and that you need serious reform, however it may come about. And if you don't change, you're going to continue to be degenerate, and you're going to continue to expedite your extinction. Y'all are not going to remain on this earth into the distant future. Neither will we. Neither will black men. But let me tell you, black men most likely will produce something that y'all won't. As the men, we carry life, not y'all. Despite what y'all been told, your egg ain't alive. We carry life. We decide where to plant our seed. And we have a lot of control over the minds of our offspring, more so than y'all. That's why, and I was looking at this earlier, do you know how much likely it is for a family to live in poverty when there's just a single mother? It like doubles or triples. And even compared to single fathers are far less likely to live in poverty. With single mothers, it's almost guaranteed. Because, and this is what the study said, they usually get part-time jobs, and those part-time jobs are usually low-paying jobs. And I tell you why most of them low-paying, because they get the laziest jobs available. They want to sit on their butt. They want to be able to sit or stand in one spot. They don't want to lift nothing. They want to talk, stuff like that. And those are the lowest paying jobs. These employers are not stupid. They know they ain't going to pay you as much money as they would if you were lifting something and keeping a line running. So they bring the poverty onto their own families. How many of us have had to deal with poverty? All because we were being raised by a single mother who participated in the war against black fathers. They telling you how your father ain't ish, but yet they got you living in poverty, inheriting nothing, and you're not being taught nothing. They don't guide you into particular colleges. They don't teach you about college life. Most of them ain't been to college themselves. They don't teach you how to fix your car to save money, how to fix this, change your brakes, because they don't know how to do it themselves. They can't teach you how to fix nothing, the plumbing, the roof, how to fix or build nothing. But they claim to be just as efficient as a parent as the fathers. Y'all's disrespect of black men and black fatherhood is your downfall. It's a spit in the face, really, of the universe and of your creator. And trust me, your creator ain't happy with y'all waging war on fathers, on black men, on your counterparts. And now it's just coming back full circle. And it's funny how y'all flood these churches for far more than black men, yet we don't see your holiness, and we don't see your holiness at all. And we've seen that before. Quite often it's the people who attend these churches the most who are the most filthy and nasty and evil. Huh? They're old overseers. Remember how holy they were? How much they used to talk about Jesus while in a KKK robe? It's like daughter, like father. Brad pretty much became their new father. And they were okay with it. Got freed from slavery. I think even Frederick Douglass pointed this out. Got freed from slavery, and then you saw a bunch of them getting sad because they missed Massa. Eventually went back to Massa's house. And I've read slave narratives. You can look them up online. Where they said not only after slavery, they went back to their masters and they stayed with their masters until their masters died. Look them up. Look up the slave narratives. That project was done in the 1930s. I believe most of us are familiar with it. Y'all are broken spiritually, mentally, and spiritually. All the problems y'all complain about, you've actually brought on yourselves. Had you rejected Brad's crumbs, families would have never been. And what were they thinking anyways? Even back then, you should have known that a family with two parents is going to be far better off than a family with, that's not even a family, than a single mother with kids. This is a fact. Look it up. Y'all several times more likely to be impoverished as a single mother. So y'all must have wanted to get away from black men pretty bad. They wanted to get away from under our leadership pretty bad. Why? Why? If you look at them, they were not homeless. These Keishas, they were not homeless. They were in better shape collectively than they are now. They wore dresses. They looked like women. Conducted themselves far better in public than they do today. Why? Keep in mind that before they waged this war on black men rose against oppression, and it had global attention. Black men were fighting, physically fighting at this point, an oppressive government. Did even government officials admit that it was an oppressive era against black Americans? At the same time, these Keishas should have been the most impressed with black men at that same time, they waged war on black men and then started co-signing with anti-black male rhetoric from feminists. You gotta squint your eyes and wonder, like, WTF? What? Black Americans were the most married people in this country. Y'all avoided homelessness and poverty because of black men. And then when black men kick it up a notch and fight for equality, fight for a better quality existence for us, that was your golden moment to rip black families apart. What in the world was y'all thinking? You were not thinking at all. I'm telling you, man, y'all collectively, y'all have serious mental problems. Y'all see that Keisha, that Haitian Keisha recently that went, I know y'all have seen it, that went onto this show and immediately, soon as she got up there, started calling black Americans dirty. Somebody asked her, like, what nationality she was. Oh, I'm Haitian. What are you? Black American? Dirty black American? Did y'all see how easy it was for her to be ultimately disrespectful? That was evil. And did you see how she emphasized it? Because that's what y'all are. Like, why you call us dirty black Americans? Because that's what y'all are, dirty black Americans. She insisted on it. That is so abnormal. That is an abnormal level of evil. Then when she tried to cope, oh, I don't have a filter. I didn't know I offended you. You got to be a vile and filthy person to be unaware that you offended people by calling them dirty. So you're either just stupid or you're so dysfunctional that you're not aware of when you're being offensive. Either way, you're uncivilized and you're trash. Unfortunately, this is a common attitude with these Keishas because they're so self-hating and evil. They've absorbed like all the evil in the world. Like, it's hard to find a more evil demographic. Hateful as all get up. You really got to have hate in your heart to call people, an entire group of people, dirty. What type of filthy, subhuman animal are you? Y'all have really regressed far beneath what you used to be long ago in an era and age that we can't even remember right now. But there had to have been a point in y'all's existence where you actually were civilized human beings, and you should be ashamed of how far y'all fallen and how many lives y'all destroyed. Your sons, so confused, were not taught to have a strong work ethic. Looking at you being lazy all their life, they don't have a work ethic. So they go out in the street, try to sell drugs, and end up getting unalived. They're getting unalived at 14, 15, 16, 17. To the point where it's common for them to not even make it to age 20. What's next? Is it going to be common for them to get unalived at age 8, 7, 9, 10? How worse does it have to get before y'all realize you're screwed up and dysfunctional on a collective level? There may be different degrees, but you're all touched by this insanity. You must be comfortable in this degenerated state of existence. That's what it looks like. As hateful as they've been, and as much as they have tried to utterly destroy black men and express their hatred towards us, they still listen to black men preach in churches, don't they? They still seem captivated by the preacher, don't they? Even though he's a black man. Confusing? No. You know why they applaud that? Because he's praising a white God. That's why. That preacher so much is even think about praising some type of black God. Those Keishas are out that church with the quickness. And see now, you know, those days of having black men preach Jesus to you, those days are over. You're going to hear more black men talk about what we talk about. So you may as well get comfortable with it. Y'all come in here with your little goofy comments. You need to get comfortable with it. Salute everybody in the building. I will see y'all on the next live.